Minecraft is a diverse community full of creative and inspired individuals.
They use Minecraft as a means to express their creativity and skill.
And sometimes that turns into them creating their own mobs, which have their own story.
And those are what we're exploring today. Let's do it.
Do it!
Coming in at number 10. Pinterest and the Twitter Cubert, or we call it the Mikado, right? Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, but the acid spider, or what I like to call the venom spider, right? This ain't the spider from the Spider-Man series, nor is the one from Venom or Carnage. This is an acid spider, and it does some serious damage. And guys, good luck with this. I don't even know why I decided to talk about this damn monster. Like, I hate spiders, and it just seems I always find something about them, and on top they live in swamps and caves. We have enough spider trauma in the game, we don't need more. A poisonous spider, though, that spits venom? Sorry, acid? Like, these spiders will have you smelting in the crap.
In at 9, the Ergast. The Ergast is a boss monster added by the Twilight Forest mod. It can be found at the top of a dark tower and appears as a gigantic ghast with multiple extra tentacles. The Ergast has 250 health points, or 125 hearts total, and it can attack in 3 different ways. The Fireball, which does 16 damage, the Ghast Tear, which does 3 damage, and by summoning Carbonite Gastlings. There are multiple ways to damage the Ergast as well. One option is to use the gas traps scattered in the rooms connecting at the top of the dark tower. The player can charge these traps by killing the gaslings that spawn around it. After fully charging a trap, the player can activate it with redstone to critically damage the ghast with actually a kind of sick red beam. It's kind of like a giant lightsaber. Ranged weapons can also be used to damage the Ergast, and a Twilight Scepter with a couple of Ender Pearls to recharge it can destroy the Ergast pretty quickly. But this guy genuinely just looks terrifying, like a ghast that had too much blood-stained Coca-Cola, if you know what I mean. This guy has tentacles coming off of the side of his head. Like, what are those supposed to be? Arms? Like, seriously, what the f?
Coming in at number 8, the Farlander Enderman. The Farlander Enderman is an albino variant of the Enderman found only in the Farlands of the overworld end-to-end. It's kind of like the white Enderman, really. It has green particles in its eyes instead of purple ones, and its skin is white and silver instead of pitch black. Its eyes turn to red when it is provoked. There is also a small chance for them to drop a diamond. Like a regular Enderman, it has 40 health and does 10.5 damage. Much like a regular Enderman, the player can look at it while wearing a pumpkin to avoid its danger. Most of its behaviors are all identical to that as a regular Enderman. However, it is not hostile to Endermites. Something to really think about, huh?
In at 7, the Grue. If you've ever played any of the games of the classic Zork trilogy, which was pretty popular around the 80s, so I doubt any of you really have, you've probably encountered the Grue, silently killing you because you were inside a dark room. Well, now that monster appears in Minecraft with the Grue mod. What this mod does is it adds a new mob called the Grue, who spawns close to a player if they're in an area where the light level is 2 or lower. Simply standing still will actually end up making more than one of them spawn. The Grue is immortal and also deals nearly infinite damage, so there's no way to survive it if you get hit. But there is only one way to banish it. You just place a torch. That's it. That's all you gotta do. If you are in an area that is higher than light level 2, you're good. In which case, the Grue will burst into a plume of smoke and disappear for now. Interestingly enough though, this mod was made so that a user called Teddy here could use it in an adventure map, but then the mod has been used in plenty of more packs after that, so its original intention was almost lost, but luckily the CurseForge page tells you.
Coming in at number 6, Creepinair. Yeah, Creepinairs are creepers that are very popular since the generation from when the first Endermen were born. And they are extinct 250 years before Steve was even born. They are the smartest of the mobs, the Enderman being the second. Until they were made extinct by, y'all know who, Herobrine, and made the Enderman the smartest. Let's see what they can go through. Let's see their moves. They can track the nearest entity through mental strength. They know their own selves. They can speak all languages. And they are loyal to people because they know they are greater than them. People are greater than them. That's right. They recognize ladders and vines and can climb to reach each other and reach other Creepinairs. They give wheat to passive mobs, except for bats, squids, and villagers, but pretty much every other unbreedable mob they're not going to give anything to, right? They give carrots to pigs, and they know how to farm. They can fix items with less durability, and also they rarely ride on pigs, but with saddles. They know how to turn a pig spawner into any kind of spawner, even a giant iron golem, snowman, or even another creeper, which is themselves. So yeah, these creepers, they know what they're doing. And one thing I like about them, they're gold. I like gold.
Halfway through into number 5, the Hydra. The Hydra is an immortal boss monster added by the Twilight Forest mod. The Hydra is a serpent dragon that spawns with 3 heads. I mean, it's a Hydra, obviously. And they can be found in a Hydra lair, which are only found in Twilight swamps. And fire swamps, but I like Twilight swamps better. The main body has 360 health points or 180 hearts, and they also have several different attacks, including Fire Breath, which does 19 damage and sets you on fire for 3 seconds, Biting when you're nearby, which deals a whopping 48 damage or 24 hearts worth of damage, which is nuts, and an Explosive Projectile that deals 18 damage but burns you for 5 seconds instead of 3. The Hydra will only take damage from projectiles when their mouths are open, and damage to a head will do significantly more than damage to the body. And when a head ends up taking too much damage, it will explode and disappear, but as Hydras are, if you cut one off, 2 more shall take its place. Hail Hydra, it will be replaced by 2 more heads, but then you have to actually take out multiple heads before it actually just gives up and dies, meaning that the fight will only get more intense the later you are in the fight. Plus, it looks menacing, even with just 3 heads, but then it has like 6 and you're like, what the hell?
Coming in at 4, Red Man. Yeah, the Red Man is a strange hallucinatory mob that only appears when the player was exploring the abandoned mineshafts and strongholds, while they are on the Chiba with Method Man. Now you see why you gotta stumble a little bit there, because they were stumbling and they were seeing that hallucinatory mob on the Chiba. Method Man was on his way to go find his homie Red, but all jokes aside though, he takes the appearance of a mutated corpse with blood splattered around his body, exposed ribcage on the left side of his torso, split mouth, and glowing red eyes. The Red Man possesses no health. Because of that, he cannot be killed by the player by any means necessary. So coming into contact with him automatically yields 20 nightmare points for the player. He also cannot attack the player or has any known drops. If the player approaches him, he will quickly disappear into black smoke and inflict the blindness status effect to the player for 12 seconds. Afterwards, the player will immediately see blood across the floors and walls, and they will inflict nausea status for 6 seconds immediately after the blindness effect ends. While this is happening, Enderman spawn become more frequent, and they will always spawn in their angered states. So it's not even like you're looking at them. They are already going to come with all the smoke. They are bringing all the smoke.
Getting close to the end of number 3, the goddamn Spider Pig. The Spider Pig is a wall-climbing hybrid of a spider and a pig from hell that doesn't deserve to live, but is a part of the Mutant Beast mod anyway. It has 25 hearts of health, meaning that it has 50 HP, and also attacks other pigs and spiders and turns them into spider pigs when killed. Not to mention the list of absolutely terrifyingly horrific things that it's programmed to do. Let me read you off a list of these disgusting features. Jay, you're gonna love this. It's not affected by poison. It is the only mutant that is a hybrid of 2 mobs. Webs do not slow down the spider pig. It will call all nearby spider pigs when it gets hit by a player or a mob. Yeah, talk about nightmare fuel, holy f***. I hate one of these, let alone a swarm. They will trap enemies in a web and deal 2 extra hearts of damage. They can be tamed when equal to or below 4 hearts, and a creeper minion has been killed by it, and you can ride it once you've tamed it. Like, someone would even think about doing that. What the hell? Oh, and the coup de grace, it can be healed by pork chops and spider eyes like the cannibal freak that it is.
Coming in at number 2 though, we got crawlers. Yeah, it sounds weird, but the crawler is a variation of the zombie that crawls on the ground. It burns in daylight and attacks villagers like a normal zombie. The crawler looks like a zombie model turned on its stomach, but with its arms out in front of it and its head looking directly forward, which honestly would be a straight up normal zombie and just laying down on the floor, but the crawler moves a lot slower than the normal zombie. It is as slow as a zombie with slowness. 1. The crawler also has 15 health, but does the same amount of damage as a zombie. The crawler also has a baby form, the baby villager form, and also can affect villagers when it kills. That being said, this is not a crawler you really want to mess with. A zombie has a spawn chance of 10%, and spawning as a crawler definitely is not something I would want in my game. Actually, it might be kind of dope because we already deal with baby zombies, but crawlers would kind of be a little bit better to deal with because they're slow. Baby zombies are fast.
And finally, in at number 1, the Wither Storm. The Wither Storm is a destructive version of the Wither in Minecraft's story mode. It sucks blocks and mobs to make it bigger and stronger, giggity. It eventually becomes a giant monster with 5 tentacles and 3 heads that can fire a tractor beam, but appears to be based on fan art from when the Wither was first introduced. At least that's what some Reddit posts and TikToks were saying, which is pretty cool if it's true, but I'd take it with a grain of salt, which means that it might not even deserve to be on this list, but I don't care. It is built by using the same blocks in the shape to construct the Wither, but the top center soul sand is instead a command block. After spawning, it creates a large explosion and idles for a few seconds. During this time, the eyes are closed and it neither moves nor attacks, but it's also invulnerable. After that, the eyes open and it starts wreaking havoc. It can now take damage as well though. The Wither Storm attacks by shooting black blocks that explode violently on impact. It targets any mob or player in sight, and it will also begin to just take other blocks in, therefore making it bigger and more powerful. And fun fact, in some of the TV spots for the 2021 film Venom Let There Be Carnage, Cletus Cassidy's symbiote Carnage actually uses the roar of the Wither Storm.
And there you have it, crafters. The best crafting crew bringing you these fire fan monster lists.
Hey, you finally said lists, I like it.
Oh well, my brother from another mother, this Padawan is feeling the force.
Ah, haha, May the 4th is coming soon. Anyway, I'm Connor Monroe, King of Cheese, that's Buildin' J, slaying these lists.
That's right. We are outie.
Yeah.
Spider pig, spider pig, does whatever a spider pig does.